Hey, everybody. Happy Friday.
Happy Friday.
It is Friday again.
Just like that.
Yeah, just like that. It's good, though. It's busy, and we're winning on a lot of fronts. And, it's springtime, so everything's green, and there's, animals, and there's
just... I'm not green. I'm red.
Yeah.
I'm glad my teeth are white. You could see me.
Yeah, well.
You should see my back.
Yeah. That's what happens when you spend all your time outside, huh?
I know.
Yeah, it's been neat for me. I spent, many of you probably know this, some of you don't. Fridays, I spend most of my day right in front of the computer. I do some stuff for my work, but I also do the lives, and I do...
You spend Mondays up here, you spend Fridays up here, you spend Wednesdays up here.
Sometimes. But Fridays, always, right? And so it was cool. My point was, it was cool today to watch. B was gone doing something else. And I watched two different community members come over and work just in the middle of it all, on their own, doing their own thing.
Thank God.
And it's really good because I think, and I tell B and the troops this all the time, that if you get four people together, you can grow way more food and be way more productive than you can be with four individual people doing it. It just
at their own place.
At their own place. This is just how it works, right?
Yeah.
So regardless of where we garden, that doesn't matter.
Mm-hmm.
What matters is, I think, the more we get together and do it, the bigger yields we'll have and the more success that we'll have as we continue to search for this elusive thing called freedom.
Well, we also learn. I've learned so much, just how the different people are different, how they do it differently. Mm-hmm. And so some people are really laid back when they garden and some people are really not.
Yeah.
And it's just the different personalities. And I like watching how it comes together.
Yeah.
And I'm super grateful to see it all because I only know my way.
Right. Yeah. Y'all get us smarter together.
Yeah. Right? You learn a lot.
Like your snail rolls this year, something you really enjoyed doing, right? That was new to you.
Yeah.
And you're growing eggplant, but you've never grown before.
Yeah. And amending beds and.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, should we get some hellos in?
Yeah.
Okay. Let's see here. Harry Kent Hempworth, Kent and Paula are in the house, says that their eldest son, Don, and them enjoyed the Let's Talk Fruit Trees. Said they missed the opportunity to question about pest control, squirrel, and birds. Well, here's the cool news, Harry. I can get that young man on very easily. He's super happy to talk about it. Maybe we can do another one. And Kent, as we always begin, welcome freedom fighters and another evening of a regular scheduled unprogramming information get-together, Evening Tag and B. Good evening to you. Nita's in the house. Good to see you. Terminator, welcome, welcome. Carrie Davis, how are you? Jane Marie, hello, hello. No lives complete.
Without a pack rat.
That's a fact. Redneck's in the house. What's up, buddy? Let's see here. Terminator. I already said hello, but let's say hello
twice. That means off-grid now, right?
Mm-hmm.
OG.
Maybe he's a redneck original gangster.
You don't think it's off-grid?
Okay, redneck. Is it redneck, off-grid, or is it redneck original gangster? Gratitude to Grace. How are you, my friends? The greatest name on the internet's here.
Half Bubble Off Club.
Terminator wants to know if the maples started sprouting.
There is something coming out of one of them.
So one.
I'm not sure if it is a maple yet. I don't want to
mess with it.
Yeah, I don't want to pull it up or dig at it or anything until I can identify it.
Okay.
But there is something coming up out of one of the pots.
Dana Green, welcome in. Jen from Life with Mike and Jen is in the house, as is Citizens Broadcaster. Hey, I've got some stuff I want to visit with you about next time we get a chance. ACM Homestead's in. Adam and Cindy, how are you? Sharpshooter, welcome in. Your wife sent me a picture of you today I'm going to share on the live, just so you know. I know, that's dangerous, huh? Yeah. Mark Baldwin, welcome in, says the learning never stops. Now, that's part of the fun, a lot of people who attempt this life, go live off grid, go grow your own food, go do all of this, look at it as some destination when the truth is it's about the whole journey.
We've changed all kinds of things along the way.
Oh, yeah. 100%. Rhonda Benefield, hello. Gratitude to Grace says, that's a great point. Garden all alone or individually as part of a group. We need to work on that. Yeah, I'm convinced, not just in gardening, but in anything, like, for example, if I was going to go build a 20 by 30 barn by myself, if I had one person to help me to work with it, I would do it. It's not just twice as fast.
One person's stronger than me.
It's not just twice as fast. It's exponentially fast. And so I think it really works, in about everything. You never know. Hello. Redneck says, old guy.
Uh-uh.
You're not that old. Suzanne Fritz, hello, hello. Helen is in the house from Helen Happy Harvest. Let's see here. What did he say? Oh, he laughed. He said, off grid is why I did, OG. Got it. Love runs rampant. Welcome in. The king himself, Jeff, Juicy, Hefty, Lefty, Amazon Mud Dogger, Slick. Phyllis is in the house with his beautiful bride, Lou. Jules, hello, hello, and welcome in. Okay. I'll keep on it when as more and more people come in. But we've got a ton of stuff to share with you guys. And you know, typically you guys know the live, first half of the live, we go just what's happening on the homestead, the community, what we're working on. And then we go into good news. And although there's a lot of chaos going on in the world, there's some actually really good things coming up and coming out that make me hopeful. And so we'll talk about some of those tonight. So it will not just be good news. It'll be good news. In some cases, it sucks that we have to even be there. But either way, I still think it's pretty neat. We had our farm has a new addition. I don't know how many of you guys have seen it in B's shorts, but meet Joe.
Joey.
Yeah, Joe is short. His real name is Sloppy Joe. So we have Tallow, T-Bone, Sloppy Joe, and Freeman. We are storing our food on the hoof. And we have a brand new baby, and he is so cute. He's like dark chocolate brown.
Mm-hmm.
You know, he matches my truck.
He's not black.
No, he's not red.
Yeah.
He's like a dark. He's doing great. Up, running around, doing his thing.
Yeah, nursing, staying with mom, hiding in the bushes.
Yep.
Yesterday, I thought Moo was gonna jump the fence Tag was up at the top of the fence line with the gate. Well, he was filling the water tank, the trough actually, but he said, I said, do you want me to go look for the baby? Because all the cows were in pasture 4. And then when they hear the Kubota coming, they all know that that's time for food. And so they come, even though they've been eating all day, but that's time for to come and have their food. And so everybody starts coming this way. Everybody goes into the pasture 2. I lock everybody in, and Moo comes. She goes in. She starts eating, and no baby. He goes, "Where's baby?" And I was like, I don't know. We got to go find him. And he was like, well, should we take the Kubota? And I'm like, well, that's just look at the field. They were over there. Just kind of look around. And he was like, that's when you said, shouldn't we just take the Kubota? And I was like, why don't you stand here at the water and I'll go look for the baby? And so I found him. And well, so I said, is he in pasture, this pasture or that pasture? And he goes, no, we don't know. They were over here. So we assume he was over there with them. Well, as soon as I start walking down the fence line, Moo turns and runs down the fence line. Well, we had already shut the gate, so she can't come out and towards the baby, but she runs down the fence line and like he's over directly across from where he was, and she stops and she's looking over there, and I'm like, okay, well, he's over in this field. But she started to pace the fence line, and I'm like, oh no, please don't jump it. Please don't jump it, because I know the other cow could jump it. That's exactly where he jumped it. So, and he just jumped it because he bent down the wire 6 inches right between the 2 T-posts and cleared it. So, I found the baby. He popped his head up when she was calling and pacing. And then he popped his head up. So I walked over towards him. I'm like, oh, there you are. And I walked over towards him, and he popped up and took off running towards the opening. So I'm yelling, open the gate. Did you hear me? How far out was I? You're like, what?
I opened in plenty of time. He wandered in. Mom was happy. Everybody was happy.
He went right in there. They connected, and she took off towards the back of the pasture. She's like, come on, get out of here. Get away from these people. Humans. This other one. So this was right after he was born. So he was born 300 feet away into this other wooded area. And the dogs were over there because there was a lot of mess. And so
the dogs were cleaning it up.
Yeah, gross. So she started walking just the pasture and walked over to this area, and he followed right behind her. And he just laid right down. And so when I fed this was first night. So I fed the cows over at the barn, put food out for them. And then by the time I got food, got in the Kubota, drove all the way around the orchard down to the corner of pasture 2, lady was already running out on my tail. I got there with a little bit of food, and Moo got, I don't know.
I think lady wants to be the mom.
5 licks. Oh yeah. Okay. So when the baby was first born, Mama like turned towards him and laid down, and so Moo lady came over and was like, put her head, because I was like, oh no, what's going to happen? Because I don't know, this is a big animal. Cows are big. Mm-hmm. So she comes over, the red cow comes over and puts her nose down, and the black cow like pushed her head away. Mm-hmm. And she did it again, and she pushed her head away. And so like lady kept like, let me sniff it. Just let me sniff it. And Moo kept like, no, stop, no. And just kept doing that. And then I was like, this is fascinating.
Hey, let me real quick get to some comments because I'm falling behind. Mark Baldwin said, you're going to fail, and that's often the best way to learn. Fail now and learn, and being willing to learn while we still have a grocery store. When it really counts, you can't fail or we starve. I think that is super well said, Mark. Let's see here. Hey, Squatchy's in the house. What's up, Squatchy? Rosie Marie, how are you? Hey, look at this, you guys. The Bug Out channel is here. This is one of my old friends. I've known a long time. We actually met at a gun range and started out shooting buddies. And I talk to him 5 times a week, probably. And have for how many years?
He's an old guy.
Yeah. We're both turning out, but he's the original creator of the Bug Out channel. And
that's pretty cool.
Yeah, super
Welcome.
Cool. Yep. Hardway Alaska says, hey, original gangster, tag and B, what state are you in? If you don't mind me asking. I don't mind at all. We're in Kansas. We're actually right up. We're pretty close to Nebraska, Iowa, Missouri, and Kansas, up in the northeast corner. Let's see here. Mark says, if you don't think the 3 other agencies are watching your social media, the KBI director, Tony Mativa, drug my son into his office this week to question him about his dad's First Amendment rights. Oh, I know they're watching. I'm cautious. I guess I'll just put it like that. Let's see here. Hey, American Roots Farm. Hi, Joe, says Joe.
Hi, Joe. Hi, Joe. I'm Joe.
So this is Joe. Now, Joe's short for Sloppy Joe because we have Tallow, T-Bone, and Sloppy Joe.
I was going to say, don't call him that.
Yeah. Let's see here. Mark says, my special agent in charge son reminded him that his dad had a First Amendment right to express my thoughts and opinions, raised that one righteous. Tony is unfit to be a federal judge. I don't know, Tony. Probably glad. Let's see here. Did I say hello to Nito Smile, good friend? Nito, if I didn't say hello to you. Mark says, I understand why people don't post online, but I'm not leaving the public town square. Here's the thing about this, guys, and I know this is unpopular with some of my friends, and that's okay. And even some of our community, it's okay. The time to hide is over. If we don't get standing up to what's going on around us, if we don't start holding our elected officials accountable, if we don't start holding our judges accountable, if we don't start holding our sheriffs accountable, if we don't start doing that, there's going to be nothing left to say. How long are we going to sit back behind the scenes and wait? I don't want it to ever turn violent. I don't want it to be crazy. There's a way to do it now without any of that, but we got to get involved. We got to stand up and have our voices heard. I mean, I don't know. And I know I get the point. And I've got a very, very good friend of mine named Mo who lives a ways away from me. And him and I go round and round about this. And he thinks, and I understand it. I totally get his point that it's too late and that what we need to be doing is just being behind the scenes, building community, doing our thing, raising food, doing all that and staying out of the way. But anyway, Lazy Loper, welcome in. Mark says, exactly. Time to stand up and use our first or we won't have it. That's right. That's absolutely right. So anyway. All right, babe, these are your pictures. You got to tell me what you got going on here.
These are the geese I had to pick up and carry
I got that part.
To the big pond.
Yeah, these two geese are crazy.
They love it when they're there, but they will only stay there if I'm there with them.
Yeah, they swim in a little itty bitty pond, like maybe, I don't know, a 1/4 acre pond. And that's where they spend their whole time. I have a big pond, deep.
Well, and there's no grass growing. There's no vegetation.
Right. Over there.
They love eating this stuff.
The big pond, everything they need is there, and they won't go there.
Well, they will. So that's the thing. As I was standing here, they wandered, they ate, they made their little goose noises, and they just had a grand old time. But as soon as I walked up and then walked around, tried to sneak away, and they followed me away. They don't want to be down there by themselves.
Yeah, B has codependent geese.
Oh man, don't say it like that. You're right though.
You do. Packrat says we must hang together, gentlemen. If we do not, we most assertively will hang separately. I could not agree more. But it's right though. What about your other picture? Cow sleeping?
Okay, so no, but you can't see. Okay, so here are the two boys.
Yep, Tallow and T-Bone.
And Freeman.
Moo's
behind. Yep. And the baby is right here in front of these three boys.
I've never even seen it. So the baby's sleeping with the boys.
Yes, and both ladies are behind. So it's like they're circling him. Mm. And then the two ladies are behind them.
Yeah, Nito says, sounds like they don't feel safe there without you. I think they're codependent. Because, I mean, and I know that they're not that intelligent and all that, but, you know, the entire property is fenced. We have very little predator pressure here. And when we do, it's aerial.
Well, I just thought, what if I took them down there and they were enjoying themselves, they would stay.
Mm-hmm.
But they were clearly enjoying themselves. But as soon as I leave, they don't want to stay.
Yeah. Yep. Yep. That's our herd. That's our cow man. So we're up to 6 cows, and we have one more that is still left to have her baby. Lady is due at some point, and she's getting bigger. So we shall see.
Yeah, we think she's bred.
Yeah. Hey, real quick, special shout out to, you know, people like Lou and Matt and Misha and, you know, people that we get to call.
OMG, no kidding.
Right. I mean, just a special thanks for giving your time and energy.
Lifeline.
Because it is a lifeline. You know, we've been at it a little while, but we're a long ways from experts. You know, we've been living off grid. You know, we've been living off grid now for 6 years. And, I love having, you know, the king on here who's been at it 30 years, right? You just learn a lot along the way.
Yeah.
Let's see here. Mark says, I'm a registered political candidate too. And if someone like me doesn't speak the truth, the only message being shared are lies. Yeah, there's no truth anymore. I think that word's long gone. Oh yeah.
You can't handle the truth.
Now, this has been quite the project. So my wife decides.
No, not my wife.
You didn't decide?
I didn't. What do you mean? You were like, you better stop them rabbits. I don't have another idea.
Oh, you can shoot them. You can.
I don't have the opportunity to sit up there and shoot them on.
Anyway, B decides I needed to hardware cloth the entire food forest. And guys, the food forest is a big place. That's a lot to hardware cloth. So I got 2 of them done. 2 sides. 2 of the 4 sides now are completely hardware cloth, which means I still got 2 sides to go. We're going to try to do that Sunday. Well, Sunday we've got community breakfast. We're going to try to do the food forest, but I'm also need to spread some grass seed.
Oh, yeah.
But anyway, I don't know if you guys have ever tried to hardware cloth a big area. Hardware cloth does not bend and stretch. You know, like
not as easy.
Yeah, it just doesn't. It's just not as field fencing. You can move up and down around hills, but hardware cloth doesn't work like that. You got to cut it in smaller pieces. And yeah, some of them are nice big long runs, but some of them when you're going up over bumps. Well,
especially when the fence like drops down in some of those areas. Like this part of that fence is probably temporary. I mean, this is like where the 4-wheeler is to the north. That's like a huge hole. That's the Wallapini hole. So this is like, I can't even mow with the lawnmower all the way down this side because it drops off in several areas. There's not enough. What is it? My mower's 48 inches. Mm-hmm. I can't. There's not 48 inches to go all the way through.
Yeah. I need to move like a bunch
that
of dirt.
Stretch. Right. So this is for now.
Yeah.
We're trying to keep the rabbits out. We're trying to keep them from eating the strawberries. That's what I'm trying to do.
Yeah. Speaking of strawberries, next comment. But Regenerative Orchard said, "Evening all. Hey, welcome in, Tim." And I've had a couple people ask me to ask you to do a live again. So if you're open for it, I'm open for it.
Yeah.
And Jen for the win says, "Are there any strawberry plants left?"
There's one over in the very far mound over there.
Well, there's a lot of wild strawberries in there.
Yes,
Food Forest has got thousands of them.
She's talking about the strawberries that like we purposefully put in there. But hopefully this fence would see my skirt on there, Jen. Hopefully the fencing will help. At first I thought I was going to put this fence on here and then let the dogs in there for a minute. But you said before I put the last bit of fence on, run through there and move them around a little bit.
Yeah, Mark recommends that you trench down 6 inches too, and most forget that important detail, and then the rabbits feast. Well, what my plan, Mark, is to come in with topsoil. I'm going to put once we get it all folded over and stapled to the ground. You know, with those big long, I don't even know what they call them, staple. I guess I call them staple.
Yeah, yard staples.
Then I'm going to bring in topsoil and put a layer of topsoil and plant plants, grass or whatever it is on top of it, and hope it all just kind of grows together. Regenerative Orchard said, "Rabbits will girdle your trees. Good on you for putting in the work to keep those rabbits out." Yeah, it's a lot. Hey, Stan, welcome in. Tim says, "Be more than happy to." And topics you all want to discuss specifically? Well, like one of them earlier in the live tonight, right at the very, very beginning, was talking about, let me go all the way back up there. I'll read it to you.
Pests.
Let's see here.
Squirrels.
Yeah, it was from Harry and Paula, who said that they really enjoyed with their eldest son, Let's Talk Fruit Trees, but they missed the opportunity to question about pest control, squirrels and birds.
Birds. Like probably netting.
Yeah. Yeah, Jen says comfrey hedge along the inside too. Well, the good news.
Comfrey hedge.
The good news is you guys remember from last live, and me and B got in a little disagreement about how many comfrey, not plants, I'm talking about big bushes that she had in the food forest. She said she had 7 or 8, and I said there's more like 15. How many did there end up being, babe?
Like 27. They like multiplied. Like they threw themselves and multiplied.
Yep.
So what I'm gonna do, I'm gonna take the saw blade weed eater, and I'm gonna go and I'm gonna cut them, and I'm gonna take them and I'm gonna put them in the swamp water, and make the fertilizer, the comfrey tea, swamp whatever water to water. And I'm going to put one at the orchard, the barrel, and I'm going to put one at the other 2 gardens. So I don't have to haul this stuff around the yard. Yeah,
well, B's a slave driver. That's all I can tell you guys.
No, I'm just trying to, we're all trying to put in so much effort, and it's so much work to sit there and watch all these little critters that I don't necessarily want here to come and eat it all. So I'm trying.
You're trying.
I'm trying.
Nothing wrong with that. What we got going on here? We have animals, guys, everywhere.
This was Happy Mother's Day. This is Tara, and she has a little black baby.
This is one of your originals, right?
No. So
I thought Nara and Tara were your originals. No, Nara and Sarah were your originals.
Yes.
Okay. This
Nara
is Tara
and Sarah were originals. And this one is the only silver one that I kept because it was like black. It was like black and silver speckles. And I was like, I want to see what that's going to look like. Well, this is what it looks like. It's black and silver.
Yeah. So B has been stealing this mother's babies.
Kind of.
Not kind of. You've stolen her babies.
I did. I'm helping her raise some of them.
How are you helping her raise them when she don't play a role in raising them?
I know. It does kind of feel bad when she sees them in the yard too,
so
in a cage. Funny. And I'm like, oh no, I've got her babies in a cage in the yard. Good grief.
Yeah. So B stole all of her babies. She got upset. So she gave her one baby back. And this mama is walking all over the place, proud as can be with this one little baby.
I left her with some of the other babies, and she was going to hatch one. She did hatch one, and I found it in the yard, like barely alive, cold.
Did you save it?
I saved it. That's the other black one that I have in the.
Mrs. Hacks is in the house. Welcome in. The freest people I know say plant marigolds around the food forest fence. Rabbits don't like the smell.
Marigolds. Do goats eat marigolds?
That's the other issue, right? Netting works definitely, especially if you have a few trees. If it were my property, I'd screw rat traps to the trees and bait the squirrels in. Yeah. Jen says, help suppress the weeds and then it multiplies. Win-win. Mark says, comfrey tea is awesome. If you don't want comfrey spreading by seed, make sure you plant blocking 14 varieties, but an overabundance of comfrey is a great problem. Yeah, we'll let it go.
Yeah.
Because if it gets to where it's so much in the food forest, I'll dig it up and put it in the woods.
Well,
we'll just we'll give it away to the community. We'll give it away to people who want it. Everybody wants comfrey.
Yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
Mark says goats eat everything. It's kind of a silly question.
I figured they would.
Oh, I hate it when it distorts my pictures.
Yeah, so these
I'll just
are
skip it. That's
babies.
Baby turkeys, and I think there you go. There they are.
Babies in a bucket.
This is so funny, you guys. You guys are going to
bucket.
absolutely laugh. My wife picks up the baby turkeys, puts them in an ice cream bucket.
No, this is your screw bucket.
Oh, that's from screw. Sorry, I stand correct. A screw bucket, and then takes them out to an outdoor, basically like a chicken tractor, and lets them spend all day outside.
I would love to have one of Indiana Mike's chicken tractors.
We're going to build some
because
I think the spring event, it might be the fall event. One of my, I need to ask him. We're going to build some for auction coming up.
Can I get in on that?
Mm-hmm.
I'd have to buy the one at auction.
Yeah, Mrs. Hack said, no, I'll just build you one. Says yes, but they are okay for them to eat. Yeah. The birds, in my opinion, are our allies. While your trees are young, it's hard to watch your fruit get eaten. When full grown, there should be more than enough to go around. If not, plant more trees. See, this I agree with. It's actually been, Tim, I'm going to tell you, one of the coolest things that I've been able to witness on the farm is the guineas deciding the food forest was their home. And although they're a little destructive, they'll move some mulch around and stuff. They really don't bother the plants, but they keep it clean.
Well, so when they're, moving the mulch around a little bit, they're digging up the roots of the plant.
A little bit, but they're
that's what happened to all of the lavender, the marshmallow, they're going in there and they're like,
but you'd agree, they're pretty mild.
Look at all these pill bugs.
Yeah,
that's why I wanted to get rid of the pill bugs.
Yeah, they will just raise holy hell with a potato beetle. Right?
I don't know.
I sit and watch them all the time.
I need to go over there through the potatoes. They do. They run a lot in the potatoes.
And I was just over there today taking pictures, and you guys judge how well they're keeping them clean because I didn't see a single bug of any kind on them today.
And I do have some in the other garden.
Yeah.
Potato bugs on the potatoes in the other garden.
Yeah. Ken says, I heard old timers say that marigolds, lavender, onions, garlic, and mint around a garden keeps the rabbits away. And you got a lot of mint. Let's see. Yeah.
Look at all those green things.
This is so funny to me.
What a beautiful sight.
The girls
how lucky
have been dumping plants into the food forest and into the garden for weeks. And yet you look inside her little greenhouse. Oops, sorry, wrong way. And there are plants everywhere. Like, do you make any ground or do you plant more than you take out?
They're multiplying.
I got plants. They're multiplying.
So when you open like a snail roll and you have to try to like break them up, there's 18 like this or there's 18 like this. So it looks like more, but it's the same.
ACM
I don't have a problem.
Yeah, you do have a problem. Pill bugs are eating my potatoes. Well, we need to get you some guineas. Fence it up, and again, it's working for us.
They're eating the potatoes. I need to check the potatoes.
Tim said, I agree. Guineas are easier on an orchard than chickens. Chickens will completely uproot the tree. Yeah. And Tim, I'm going to tell you, watching them do it, they figured out after a couple of years that they could have their young in the food forest. And this was amazing to me because the hatch rate quadrupled. Normally a guinea has her babies naturally.
Was it 6%?
Yeah, like 6% live because they take them through the deep woods. They lose them. Whatever it is.
They just run.
They run.
Gotta keep up or they're left.
But in the food forest, the babies can't get out yet for a while, right? And so by the time they can get out, they're strong. And we,
well, and it's all, the grass is all mowed.
Yeah, it's all
So
nice.
They go from like one swale to the next swale through 4-inch tall grass.
Yeah. So anyway, keep barking here at the homestead to get rid of some of those guineas because I know what's going to happen. We went from 6 guineas to 30 guineas.
No, I've got 21. I still have 21.
Okay, so we went from 6 to 21. You like that story better?
It did. We went from 6 to 21.
Okay, so now we have 21, and if you count that multiply, there's going to be 100 this year. If you count that same math.
No, because when we see the guineas, the babies, we can catch them and we could give them away.
Oh, okay.
But, when we saw the 21, we kept them. When we saw that it was 18 or something like that.
Okay. So we're going to get back on this live on a later date when there's 130 guineas running around out there. Listen to me. And you can't catch them. And we're going to be on this live and we're going to be becoming honest with all of these fabulous people that just like the number of comfrey plants, Tag was right.
Okay, we'll come back on.
Just like the number of plier drawers I have in my toolboxes, right? Tag was right.
I don't know. I have everything pliers.
I have pictures.
Oh, these are pliers.
Anyway, Nito says, I discovered we have a mated pair of house finches visiting our yard now. Cool.
Oh.
I had zero luck planting lavender, marigolds, alliums, mint, and other aromatic. The rabbits ate all of them. You can get rid of roly-polies. Kansas is an ancient inland sea, and they are ancient crustaceans. They usually only attack and decompose sick and diseased crops. You might have something else going on.
I have them in everywhere.
Yeah, Hack said, I'll be up for a few more guineas. We can make that happen. Tag, you can be right or you can be happy, but you can't be both.
Happy Friday.
Yeah. You know what? I laugh, but that is really true.
Is it?
All right, what do you got going on here? Oh, yeah, I got to tell you guys a story in this first picture. So I'm coming back from working. I walk up to my wife and she says, hey, this drill, it's my Milwaukee drill.
Yeah.
Okay, it smells funny.
It smells weird.
Yeah, it's rubber burning because you're burning out the engine trying to dig dirt with an auger.
There's no way a woman with a auger for a potato drill should be burning up a Milwaukee. That should not be happening.
Babe.
If that can't hold up to that, then we need a new tool.
Yeah, so let me fill you in on a little bit of information here. Okay? It has nothing to do with a woman because the tool does the work. All you're doing is holding it.
Well, then the tool was clearly broken.
So when you drive that into hard soil,
it's not hard soil. And then it's my garden soil.
When you drive it into any soil and you just pull the trigger and you let it run for 30 minutes, it gets warm.
30 minutes.
How long do you use it?
It started stinking pretty fast.
Okay. Oh my goodness. Goodness. Yeah. ACM says, I need some guineas.
I think that it was going bad before I got it.
Lazy Lopez says, we have Keats coming next week. We'll see how long we can keep them. Yeah, we locked ours up for 6 months. Mm-hmm. Jules said, I could definitely use some guineas. Need to learn to care for them, though. The biggest thing that we did is we locked them up for 6 months, which is way more than most people told us, but our guineas stick around now. So, Bug Out Channel says, Bee's arms are jacked.
You did that. You did that.
I didn't do anything. Hey, B, what kind of iron have you been bumping?
He altered the picture.
I did not alter the picture. No, I didn't. No, I didn't.
Uh-huh. Yes, I have Arnold Schwarzenegger arm. Look at my arm. Look.
Oh, my goodness.
Bumpy.
Oh, my goodness. That is so much fun. All right, so anyway, back to the drill pictures. And then I pull up and she's burned my drill out.
I did. That's what I get for burning his drill out. And you know what? I think that's why that drill was left in your garage, because it was already having problems. And so you left it there for me to find, and then it would be my fault that it got burned out. And then it's now I have to go buy a new drill, Bethany. I'm like, oh, shucksy darny, you better go buy a new drill. Because the other one that you were like, I'll go get you one. You went and got it. I hammered that thing the whole rest of the day. Not a problem.
Yeah.
So, didn't stink at all.
So both of my drills have now been
this
taken.
One needs to be thrown away.
I only have 2 Milwaukee drills.
Then you have 1.
Yeah, they both. No, I have none. You burned out the first one and you're keeping the second one. How many do I have?
The first one is going to be thrown away and you can have the second one back.
Oh my goodness.
That's ridiculous.
Lazy Loper says, I think 6 months is a good plan. Yep. Pack Rat says, we're here to pump.
To pump
you up.
You up.
Yeah. Let's see here. Mark says, you'll find out the wrist is the weak point of using a drill auger when you hit a rock in that tough soil.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. It really wasn't tough soil.
Yeah, it's her garden soil, so it's not bad. But you just burn that stuff out over time. And at the end of the day, they are disposable. They're not going to last forever. So.
The drills? And that's probably...
Mario says that he will repair your drills if they have brushes. You see that? Gypsy says, thank goodness Father Day is coming up.
Oh, there you go. Yeah. Now you know what you're getting.
Yeah, and I don't have any left. So I have impacts, but I don't have any drills.
You're getting some iron.
All right, what's the second picture? What were you guys doing out there? So that
wasn't me out there. I just took the picture.
That's real life trad wife and Jonathan, right?
Yeah, they were out there planting the potatoes.
Sweet potatoes, right?
Yes, MMR took a managerial lead on that and said, I'm going to get out there and do that. And then everybody started like showing up and was like, hey, I want to be here to help. And they planted the sweet potatoes. I don't know what they were talking about because I, again, did not participate in, like, I threw a little bit of hay, but like that was it.
All right. Oh, why don't you tell this story?
Oh, this was at the,
so we got an invite.
Yeah, we went to the greenhouses. There was like 3 greenhouses. There was a garden meeting at the res.
The Potawatomi Indian Reservation invited B to come participate in a garden workshop. Will be and other community members.
Yeah, other people. It was open to the public.
Yeah, there was three of our community members who went, if I understand that right, because I didn't go.
Yeah, it was put on by the Sustainability Committee
for the reservation. So the Potawatomi Indian Reservation is going through this big transformation about trying to figure out how to be sustainable. So they've created their own butchering plant, a big sustainability thing going up. But anyway, just to get a little background, I'm going to turn that light on, although I think it's probably still too early. But.
Yeah. So this was inside of one of the greenhouse. That was inside of one of the greenhouses. They had all these plants that we could go through and pick and see what we wanted and take home with us at the end of the event. And then in this pile here was buffalo poop. And I was like, oh, I don't want to take your rocks here. So I was like trying to push the rocks out of the way and get a good scoop and put it in the bucket. And the lady goes, oh, you're not going to get the rocks out of there. And I was like, did somebody like scoop the rocks in there by accident? And she goes, oh no, the buffaloes eat them. And I was like,
I did not know
I was
that.
Quiet and what was that? And it was a bug. It was a wasp. Jess goes, oh, you're not kidding. And she goes, no, yeah, they eat them. And then this, I don't know why, they just do. And then this is what happens. It's just in their waste. So this is old buffalo poop. And it has rocks in it. They gave it to us to take buckets home to put into your compost or the garden or whatever to help you in your future.
Mark said I should get you a battery powered auger that they're built for that kind of torque. Unless they make a Milwaukee one, I don't want to have a whole bunch of different batteries and a whole bunch of different, especially as little as you use it. This was really a great comment. Jen says that these greenhouses is what Mike wants for Father's Day. What do you think about that?
That's nice.
You think that's what Mike wants?
Probably not.
Yeah.
Jen wants it for Father's Day.
Matthew Parrott, welcome in, says probably to get the mineral. Yeah, and you'll have drills in your shop, not in a greenhouse. Dude, my wife steals all my tools, Mark. All of them.
Well, I need
batteries. I go into work in the shop. I'm like, okay, I'm going to get a bunch done. I go over, my whole battery tray's empty.
I need them. I mean, I don't know what else to say. you're like, hey, B, here's a vacuum powered by my batteries. What do you want me to do about that?
Mike says, I can't wait till Father's Day. He wants a greenhouse. I'm so excited for you.
Right.
And Mark says he's sure they have Milwaukee. But you also got some plants that came home, right?
Yeah. I got 2 trays of strawberries and then some zinnias, some sunflowers, that's basil, oregano, hollyhock. I'm not sure what that one thing is right there. Also got seed soil tester, and then like a whole pack of native seeds. This was from a lady in Lawrence. This is Goodway Farm. Her whole thing is like preserving native seeds and then sharing native seeds. So these are all things that she grew from at her farm herself and then put into packages to share for everybody that showed up. So I went and got one of everything because, well, how am I going to multiply if I don't have to start? So you get this like one little pack and there's like probably 25 seeds in there. If you plant these and then harvest them, then you have seeds again, plus you have something to eat. So anyway, I was blessed with a whole bunch of different seeds. A lot of them I'm going to try. A lot of them I have not heard before. Grapevine greasy bean.
Grapevine greasy bean.
Greasy, yeah. I should have said she had a whole story to that, man.
Mark says you need to keep my batteries charged.
That I need to?
Yeah, that's the most expensive part.
Yeah.
He's right.
Anyway, anytime you can go to any of these little learning events. Yeah, and it was free. They talked about the master gardening program, and I still would love to do something like that. That seems doable.
We should try to get a master gardener to come up and teach it at the community building, once a week, so that everybody gets a chance to learn.
Well, they actually do it online. They do it online, and then like at the res, they were having like watch parties, so you can like go there and watch it with a group of all of them, and then they ask questions and.
Jen says that Mike did buy her a nice steel chainsaw for Mother's Day several years ago. It's big and that she can barely lift it. So getting him a greenhouse for Father's Day makes some sense. I would say, Jen, you need to get him some land in Kansas for Father's Day. I'll help him build a greenhouse. All right, let's get through this. I have no idea what all this is.
Oh, so but in order to plant the tomatoes, we had to get rid of the peas that were planted there. So we cut the peas off, left the roots in the ground, and then took the remainder of the pea plant and chopped it into pieces and used it for like mulch around the new seedlings.
I wish I'd have known that. I'd put it in better order. Maybe I got lucky. But
yeah, those were in order. This is wild bergamot.
That's bee balm, right?
Yeah. I didn't realize. So when one of these branches like fall down, it roots itself. So I went and I pulled one up to give to somebody, and it was like it was all rooted, and then it was attached. I was like, "Wow, look at that! That's fantastic."
Yeah, you have a lot of really nice. I hate when that does that.
Look
at this, you guys! I am so excited. Sorry, I clicked too much.
You are fumbling.
Yeah, look at this. This may not mean anything to you all, but my cherry trees have cherries for the first time ever.
And
I love cherries.
There you go,
It's one
buddy.
of my absolute favorite fruits.
You did it right.
Yep, and for the first time, Jen says she needs arms like you to run the chainsaw.
Yeah.
Because B is jacked.
I'm gonna pump you up.
Yeah. And got your
those sweet potatoes. Look how fantastic they look.
Yeah.
They did a great job.
Yeah. Sweet potatoes are in the ground. What's that?
Mint.
Yeah, look at that beautiful mint plant. I'll kind of roll through these because there's a lot. Dude,
Elderberry.
her elderberry's insane.
They're already.
Anybody want any elderberry plants? Clippings? Oh my goodness.
Clippings?
You got a lot of elderberry. It rivals your comfrey. Let me guess. Hold on.
I only have 7 plants.
You only have 2 elderberry plants, right?
I only have 1 row.
Look at that.
Apples?
We have apples on every single apple tree.
Yep.
We have a bunch of apple trees, and for the first year, it's so crazy. We have never gotten a single apple, and all of a sudden this year, they all have them. So I couldn't help myself but just to take some pictures. How wonderful is that?
There you go. All that hard work you've done, you're going to get yourself an
Hardway Alaska says that's why she's the original gangster. Yeah, no doubt. Lazy Loper says, I need elderberries. You know what? I'll bet you we can send some to you guys. Yep. Send me and I'm not sure how to package it and all that.
Well, you literally just send the sticks. That's how I started them. Put it in the ground.
Mark Baldwin says he takes some elderberry and trades some black currant. Deal. We have a lot of elderberry. Jules, I think it's Jules and Lazy Loper. Send me an email and let's figure out how to get you guys some. Lazy Looper says, Lazy Looper apparently tags Loopy. Our weather's been so weird that our fruit trees are totally confused. Yeah, what a blessing on the apples. And now it's apple cider vinegar making time. Yeah, there are apples on every tree.
I want to know how to do that.
And my cherries have cherries for the first time. I am like.
We better net that.
It's only taken 4 years.
We better net that, that cherry tree.
Now here's a kind of a bigger picture of Bee's food forest. And for those of you guys who can spot comfrey, you should be just on Bee about, you really only thought you had 7? Because they're everywhere. Yeah, absolutely everywhere.
You're crazy. They're not everywhere. They're only like.
Oh, Jen says sending to California is not fun due to ag restrictions. What if we just send it and see what happens? I mean, how does that work, Jen? Yeah, Lazy Loper, absolutely happy to. Our apricots are not even ripe yet. We don't have anything ripe yet, but it's early in our season. So
yeah.
Let's see here. Look at the potatoes.
And we have a plan for the inside of those walkways. I was weed eating them, and Jess said that she could get cardboard from some guy, loaded it up with a pallet into her truck. So we have cardboard to lay on there and then put the
mulch back on it.
Hay on it.
Hay back on it.
So then we'll just hay over the potatoes, hay over the rows, hay over the potatoes, hay over the rows.
And these are, you got some tomatoes in the ground, although you don't have those.
No, it's all scraggly.
Well, you just planted them.
Yeah.
But they'll get big and they'll completely, if you guys remember from last year, they'll completely take that arch over.
Probably.
You know, they did last year. Right? Oh, this was funny.
Oh, yeah. You weren't even on there.
Well, I had to call that trailer. So, because
funny question. Why couldn't you just pull the trailer?
I didn't have the hitch on it. So I had to carry it. Anyway, so because my neighbors caught my place on fire twice, we decided we would build another firefighting rig because we already have one. And so my goal was
we need more.
Yeah, my goal was to take this tank and build some brackets and strap it to the back of my 4-wheeler, which I did. So all I'm waiting on, I ordered the reel. As soon as the reel shows up, it's all operational. Pump works, everything works. And so now there's a 25-gallon tank on the back of the 4-wheeler. Let's see here. Hardway Alaska says, hit an auto body shop to see. Yeah, they have lots of cardboard. That's a great idea. I have 5 gallons of strawberry, peach, apple, cider, mead brewing for the 250th celebration. Excellent.
Wow.
Freedom, 25 pounds of honey used. Should be 22% alcohol by content.
Where do you get your honey, Mark?
Jules says, I got raspberry and blackberry bushes that I got from Grumpy's seed exchange planted. Less than a week later, a couple are already sprouting leaves. So excited. Yeah. Mark says it smells delicious. Yep.
I bet.
They'll open the package, remove the plants, seeds, or cuttings, and stick a note in the box saying they're not from an authorized, inspected facility. Happened to me multiple times when folks sent me items. Well, how do we get Lazy Loper some elderberry? So you crank down on the tensioner of the rear spring to allow more weight on the four-wheeler and be a little more careful when driving. Yep. I'm going to leave it empty most of the time.
Oh, because it'll be heavy.
It'll be
back
heavy. Well, it's 25 gallons, so it's not that much.
It's still back heavy.
It's like, carrying you on the back or whatever.
On the back.
Yeah. So it won't be too bad, but yeah, it's a good point.
With my arms.
Yep. We are getting ready to start my truck. I'm super excited.
Start it.
Yep. I'm closing in on it, but
it's got doors.
It's got doors. It's got fenders. Just keep plugging away, and that
thing is going to be long.
Yeah, it is a big truck. Let's see here. Nito says another good place to find cardboard is a furniture store. Oh yeah, I agree with that. Furniture rental store. You can find large pieces. Tag, I'll send my UPS number for the Loper. Perfect. Yeah, because we would love to send you guys. Is there anything else, Squatchy, that we grow out here you guys want? Or maybe we should say this to Loper. Loper, is there anything else out here we grow that you guys want? Because, B has a lot of stuff growing out there that we would love to send you guys. Let's see here. Mark says, I buy raw because I'm highly allergic. I've got nukes, just no beekeeper in a pink suit. Yeah, we've got a few hives back there. At approximately 8 pounds per gallon of water, it's 200 pounds. Yep, it can handle it. Okay, I got to tell you guys a story. This picture's hilarious.
Oh, I love that.
You have to have some background on it.
They're working.
So we've got tomorrow, I've got a community day on a farm. We're going to help build a small barn. And then the next week or sometime during the next week, we're going to pour some concrete so that we can put it in an addition onto a house of Sharpshooter. So in that picture is Joe from American Roots. He's leaning on the skid loader and Sharpshooter is on the phone. And his wife snapped this picture out of the window as he was calling me on the phone, asking some questions about pouring concrete. And so I just thought it was absolutely hilarious and perfect timing. But I am super, super, super excited about helping them put this addition on. This is going to be wonderful. And these are people who have been to so many events, asked nothing. Like they have earned every chit. And we're going to go there and we're going to bust it out and help them, achieve their goals. And I'm very much looking forward to being able to go do this. So anyway, I just thought the picture was funny because he was talking on the phone. He was talking to me because I got the photo and I just hung up the phone with him. And I'm like, oh, this is going in the live. Got it going in the live. All right.
They were working.
Some news from Kansas. Topeka City leaders are considering cracking down on how many chickens a residents can have. And so I just thought I'd share with you guys, that it might sound silly that it's a chicken, but it's control. And we need to be standing up to all of these things. So I've been posting, like I made the picture on the right, national emergency, too many chickens. And I've been posting it to the government pages and trying to harass them about how ridiculous it is that we can get laws in Kansas about transgender bathroom rights. We can get laws in Kansas about how many chickens you can have, but they simply cannot do anything about property tax. Right. They can't do anything about all of these real problems. And instead they want to harass people about silly things like chickens.
Too many chickens.
Do I need to bring a drill tomorrow? Says Gypsy. Well, it probably wouldn't hurt since I don't have any. I've got impacts. I'll bring impacts with torch bits and all that. I don't have any Bia stole.
It would be nice for me to be able to use that one again.
Yeah. NATO says laugh out loud. Well, I'm going to get a brand new one. So you just keep it.
Oh.
And I'm going to put my name on it and don't touch it.
Listen.
Listen. Linda.
If I need it, I'm going to use it if I find it.
Nito says laugh out
That's
loud.
how it goes.
Oh, they would hate me. I have like 50. Tim says, for me, finding, storing, and peeling stickers and tape off of free cardboard is a waste of time. If you paid yourself an hourly wage, it's a wash. I order rolls of cardboard for Uniline that are 250 feet long. I agree with that.
Rolls of cardboard?
Yeah. Mark says they don't want backyard food security. No, they don't. They don't want us to have it. Right? Completely ridiculous.
Right.
Anyway, guys, I have some news for you. So guess what's back? So we are closing in on the rebuild of the freesteading platform. And so I just thought I would share with you guys that the regular freesteading.com works. It takes you right to it. We're not ready to release it, none of those things, but you guys definitely, you know what I'll do? Actually, let me do this real quick here.
So
let me remove this.
Sign on like before?
Yeah, real quick.
Or sign up?
Hold on, let me do something real quick here. Windows, here, I'll just show you guys. Right? So this is just, these are the forums, right?
You go way too fast.
And there's a lot of them. Is that slower for you?
Mm-hmm.
I'm actually registered today.
How many people are registered?
I think there's just
you too?
Just a couple of us right at the moment, because I said we just got to this part of it.
Well, there's 17 messages.
Yeah. This is tutorials and help. So they've been in there. How to search the
tutorial.
These are all how-tos that are trying to be built, right? What's new, media, and some of these things are still kind of blank, but members, right? And a little bit of about us.
Pretty cool.
But anyway, the moral of the story, it's a long ways away, but I can tell you guys that freesteading is back.
So what all can you do on here? You can sign up?
Yeah, you can sign up. You can
people?
Private chat each other. You can. It's more of a forum based instead of a social media based. And Mark, to your question, Mark says, "What is this? A social media site?" So, Mark, before I knew you, we had a social media site called Freesteading, but it got to be where it was so expensive. Maybe just start with that. Why did we get rid of the old one? So, a couple things. One, it was super expensive.
Cool.
we were spending $10,000 a month keeping the site up. And it really, there's just the juice wasn't worth the squeeze. But that wasn't the whole problem. There was another really big problem, which was that the spam and stuff that was coming in, we couldn't keep it out of it. It was a full-time job, and I just simply cannot donate.
There were bots.
There was so much of it. And so we spent a lot of time just trying to figure out how to make it more affordable so that we can keep it free. And then also how to keep it more secure. And so we spent a lot of time, quite a few months. And so it's been rebuilt, and so we're getting ready to launch it. But since you guys are my peoples, you're the first to hear about it. And so anyway, it's back up. So you guys, if you want to go mess with it, go sign in, go play around, put some posts on. It actually will help us make sure that we get it all right and get the bugs worked out anyway. But yeah, I'm super, super, super excited. Bug Out Channel says can sign up. It's live. Hopefully everyone jumps on to test it. Yeah, try it out. Yeah, Sharpshooter says she definitely snuck that picture in there. Yeah, she did. So just real quick, guys, so you guys know why do we even build a social media site called, social media site? There's a whole bunch of reasons for it. My big passion in life is trying to connect community and trying to build community everywhere. If we could just find a way to do that in an inexpensive manner, I could do it easy if I charged money, but doing it for free is a whole lot harder. So anyway, I think we've got it where we can figure it out. We can keep it running without income, and hopefully we can continue to build. But anyway, you ought to go and check it out. Mark says something like that will take up some servers. It's not cheap. No, but this is a whole lot better. Like I said, Mark, the one we had before was $10,000 a month.
There you go. You could share pictures, and you could connect to people in your area. And can you do that through here?
Yeah, I think so.
Is there a Kansas page and a Texas page?
Well, we can build any page we want in it. We're just, we're just getting it up and functional. So it's hard to say.
Yeah.
Right. We're going to keep playing with it, and there'll be changes and there'll be all of those things. But I told you guys we'd get it back up, and it's back up, but not completely. We still got lots of work to do. But anyway, just thought I would share with you guys because I think that is pretty cool.
That is cool. Good job.
Here. Yeah.
Congratulations. Let
me see here. It was funny. B comes up tonight, and I showed her. And she goes, "What?" She didn't even know it was being worked on, did you?
No. Well, no, but I don't sit up here and watch you work either.
Yeah, that's because B lives in this world of cotton candy, rainbows, and fairy farts.
I have goats and chickens and turkeys and geese, cows.
And 2 Milwaukee drills, one that barely works.
You gave me one.
All right. And you guys keep in mind that we post a lot of the events for the community on the Great Plains Homestead Happenings on Facebook. Although when we get freesteading back up and running, I'll probably move all of that over there. Yeah. Mark says, I used to build all of that stuff at my old job. People don't realize how much goes into a social media platform. The forum pages are far cheaper. Yeah. And way, way easier to manage.
Well, we had like bots coming in and wanting to show pictures.
Yeah. Oh, there was so much
There's
porn.
all kinds.
Yeah. Oh yeah, so much Chinese porn. It got to be just ridiculous. And I just can't babysit it 24 hours a day. And Andrew can't babysit it 24 hours a day. We just can't do it. Does it still have the state pages? I don't know if it does yet, but I can tell you that it is part of the plans. I would have to go through and see if he's got that built out yet. So I don't know the answer to that.
I saw urban on there.
Yep. But I would encourage you guys to go check it out. And I'd love the feedback, and let's go see if we can build something that is more sustainable. One of the problems was we tried to be Facebook and there's just no way.
Yeah.
There's just absolutely no way. And we actually mirrored it after Facebook in a lot of ways, but there's just no way. And so we had to reload, but we got it. So it's cool. And big shout out to the Bug Out channel. Bug Out channel is a beast behind the scenes, and don't get anywhere near the credit that he deserves. But no states yet, but it will have. Cool. Super cool. Yeah, Pack Rats, that's great news. Yeah. Let me see. Would we use our same login or need to create a new one? You can use the same one because none of the old stuff is logged into here.
No, you'd have to create it.
You'll have to create a new account, but you can use the old
information
name and login.
Yeah.
To get in there. But let me know what you guys think. Yeah. Yeah. Bug Out says need new.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, he could use the old ones, but right.
You can use the same information.
You can use the same information, but he has to re-register.
But you have to yeah.
I think that's correct. Correct me if I'm Bug Out channel. Tell me if I'm not right there, but I think that's correct. Mark says only the CIA in QTEL can afford to run Facebook. Man, we gave it hell for quite a while.
They were swinging.
Yeah, Jules said, I don't even remember my old information. That's cool. You can create a new one. Bubble Off Plum says, gotcha. And I got a big thumbs up from the Bug Out channel. Yeah, by the way, if any of you guys like building Bug Out bags and stuff, Bug Out channel, he don't post a lot of content anymore, but there was a time when he did a lot. There's some really good videos on there. You probably don't want me doing that, but I did it anyway. Freedom Fest, July 11th. Don't forget, this is going to be a big deal, and I have an announcement to make for the event, which I'm super, super excited about. And kind of with a little bit of a twist. We still got a lot of the stuff to work out, but our keynote speaker will be Pat Miletich, 4-time Ultimate Fighter champion and Ultimate Fighter Hall of Famer, and also the founder of Soil Saviors. And so he's going to come out and talk to us about soil health. And
that'll be awesome.
Yeah, super, super cool. And I met Pat. I serve on a board with him. And that's how I met him. And him and I just hit it off right away. And so anyway, he's going to come down and do a little speaking and hang out on Saturday, July the 11th. And he's an interesting story. He comes from some trauma, and he, grew himself into be really one of the building blocks of what made the UFC the way it is. And not only was he a world champion, but he went on to coach many world champions. He is a freedom-loving, anti-corruption, anti-tyranny redneck from Iowa. And, he's a badass and super easy to talk to. But anyway, he's got a company that repairs damaged soil from heavy metals and from stuff like this. And so he's going to come out and give a big talk about that. So I'm pretty cool, pretty excited about having my friend Pat come in and have a talk. But there's more.
That's pretty cool.
But first, Pack Rat said, I just renewed with and posted. We're back, folks. Thank you. Nito said, I'll keep telling my hubby I really want to attend in July. You guys, come on out, hang out. And if you guys need help with figuring out what to do here, all that, just let me know. We will work on it. Mark said, Pat just had my buddy Patrick King on his podcast. The Soil King is one of the few doing it right. Well, Mark, I know you'll be at the July event. Come out. I know you will. Come hang out, and I'll make a personal introduction. And he's a really good guy. Super, super, super down to earth. And I'm excited to have him. But again, as I was saying just a minute ago, there's more. So what's going to go on, and I don't have the details. So nobody ask me because I don't know. But on Sunday, we're renting a facility. It won't be at my farm because my farm does not have probably the space to do what we're going to do. But Pat is going to give a seminar and training class and all this on MMA to the local clubs and the people who are interested. right here in Holton, Kansas. And so we'll spend the day doing that. I can tell you, I will not be sparring with Pat. I will be sitting in the bleachers. But Mark, if you want to spar with Pat, I will sit there and watch you. I might even YouTube it. So,
live.
Yeah, Mark says, I'd love to meet him in person. I watch this stuff all the time. Well, you're going to meet him, buddy. And he's a super cool guy, very down to earth. But what you'll love about him most is he's a freedom warrior. He went from being a gladiator in the arena to being a warrior for soil health and anti-glyphosate and anti all of the things that the industrial food system is. And he's on the front lines of it every day. I introduced him to Billy Bond, who many of you guys know. And he went down and helped them after the hurricanes, fix a bunch of soil down in North Carolina. And his business has just absolutely exploded. They've done tons of research, tons of studies, and tons of testing. And he's winning, and he's winning big. And I'm super happy for him. I hope he keeps winning, and I hope he wins even bigger. And I hope all of you guys come out to see him July the 11th.
He had one of the testimonies I just was saying that because she was looking into that soil savior,
mm-hmm.
and she said that there was a testimony on there that the lady was had forever chemicals in her soil,
mm-hmm.
and that the soil savior took them out, neutralized them.
Oh my goodness. So gratitude to Grace. We are planning on coming to the Freedom Festival this year. Really looking forward to it. This is awesome. So I got Gratitude to Grace have been on the channel forever, but I actually got to meet them in person at the Self-Reliance Festival. We got to hang out, went to dinner, just had a good old time, laughed and joked, poked fun, all of that good stuff. I am super, 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 super excited. You guys are coming. And again, if you guys need any help with any type of arrangements or anything, you let me know, and I will be Johnny on the spot. Glad you're coming. Jen says, my money is on Big Bicep B and Miss Lou. Some tough ladies
I'm
right
not
there.
Miss Lou. You don't want to arm wrestle Miss Lou. Ask Nikki.
Did Nikki try to arm wrestle Lou?
No, she didn't try. She lost. Lou went in there and showed her farm muscles.
Yeah, he says Pat doesn't want to give up his 5-time UFC title to nobody. Tito Ortiz challenged me to a fight too. Yeah, I ain't fighting either of them. No, thank you. But you know what, Mark? I'll watch you fight them, and I will YouTube it. I can tell you, I am not fighting any of them. One last picture I want to share with you guys, and then we'll get to the good news.
The good
news for the night. So today when I was working on, I'm building ads for the July event and for Pat Miletich and for all of these things. And I ran across just a fabulous, fabulous picture that had to go into my, look at this. What do you think's so cool about that?
That is him with your Freeman hat on.
That is Pat Miletich ringside wearing my Freeman hat.
Love it.
Tell me that ain't cool.
That's cool.
Yeah, so we got to get him a whole bunch of Freeman hats. He's got to leave here with a couple new Freeman hats. So, got to.
You better order some more.
Yeah, I better. But isn't that cool, you guys?
That's really cool.
I have got pictures with Joe Salatin, Billy Bond. There's a whole bunch of them. Lewis Milliman.
Oh, you got all kinds
with
of
people wearing a Freeman hat.
Yeah.
Oh yeah, I've got, and this has got to go in my collection. But yeah, how cool is that? That actually made me completely smile. And yeah. Anyway,
that's really neat.
I'll quit gloating because that was just incredibly cool. So please, you guys, if you got time, come hang out with a bunch of Freedom Warriors. Come hang out and celebrate the 250th birthday of America with Pat Miletich and a whole bunch of homesteaders, a whole bunch of off-gridders, a whole bunch of Freedom Warriors. You know, JC Citizen Broadcasters in here tonight. She films our local county commissioners every single Monday relentlessly, right? There's so many of them who are doing this all over the country, and just people in the fight. And, you know, Pat's one of them, and there's many people who will be coming are one of them. I actually invited some of our local state senators, congressmen, and politicians, and I did it on purpose because I want to show them there's another way that we can do. We can raise food through healthy soil. We can have freedom and not have tyranny. We don't have to, you know, extract every drop of wealth anybody makes for the betterment of the good. We don't have to do these things. We choose to do these things. And the fact of the matter is, guys, it's not the politician's fault. It's not the corporation's fault. It's you and I's fault for not doing something about it sooner. That's fact. We, the people, got to do more, and it begins with community. And guys, I've been telling you this a long time, and I'm going to say it one more time, then we're going on to the good news. I promise. As our world continues to go through its paces, right? Digital IDs, all of these things. You know what the next currency is? The next currency is relationships. And it's relationships because the only way we'll figure out how to conduct any type of commerce, any type of life behind the reach of the surveillance state and the technocratic state behind those things is through relationships. Mm-hmm. It's the relationship I have with Jim Gale in Florida, with Pat Militich in North Dakota. It's the relationship that we have right here with Mark and ACM Homestead and Jules in Oklahoma, right? It's those relationships that will matter. And so we might as well start building them now. Trust takes a long, long time. And so come out. It'll be a lot of fun. So
it will be fun.
Let's see here. Mark says, got to teach politicians we don't need chemical warfare. Good job, Rowdy. That's a great step. Yeah, let's kick its ass, right? I'm in. And well, guys, there'll be a lot of events. I got flyers coming, all of that. The team that's putting on the Freeman Festivals, which is not me, by the way.
Yeah.
I advertise it, but they're behind the scenes. They don't get any credit, but I'm going to tell you, they're amazing. They're still working on all of the, schedule and calendars because we make it very kid friendly. They'll do, hot dog eating contest and bobbing for apples or whatever during the day, whatever it is. So they'll do a lot of that.
Hot dog eating contest.
Yeah, well, whatever it is. I'm whatever they.
I think that's what they're doing this.
No, they might be. But the food, if you're coming, bring a side dish. If you can't bring a side dish, don't worry about it. I got one for you.
Yeah.
We'll just have a big meal. Most of the food comes right off the farms, between my farm and everybody else's farm. And it's as natural and as healthy as we can get. And again, let's show some of our leaders who are going to come. Let's show them there's a better way. Let's not be rude. We don't have to be condescending.
Come and be nice.
No, we don't have to be condescending or rude. What we have to show them is that it can work. Right. And they get to decide which side of the fight they're on. They get to decide what side of history they're going to be on. I've picked my side. They get to pick theirs. And, we'll act accordingly.
Yeah.
Right. All right. Now that you got me all fired up, you want to do some good news?
Yes.
You guys want to hear the story that blew me away the most this week? Did you know that the CIA raided Tulsi Gabbard's home and seized files from her? Now, you might think, why is that so weird? Well, the CIA just raided the agency that oversees it. So, okay, the CIA first is not supposed to be conducting any activities on American soil. Okay, and the primary reason is the CIA is restricted from conducting operations within the United States is rooted in the National Security Act of 1947. The legislation that officially established the agency. This act and subsequent interpretations and legal precedents clearly delineate that the CIA's mandate is to collect, analyze, disseminate national security information from sources outside the United States. But the CIA took action and raided the home of the ultimate person they answer to, which was Tulsi Gabbard. The CIA just raided the agency that it oversees. Congressman Anna Paulina Luna just reported that the CIA seized boxes of documents from the JFK and MK Ultra files held by the Director of National Intelligence, Tulsi Gabbard, in her office. 85% of the MK Ultra files were destroyed by the CIA. The 15% that weren't destroyed were supposed to be released per an executive order by Trump. But the CIA came and took them. If this 15% is so bad that they'll defy the President of the United States, imagine how evil the 85% is. This is an insane story. This is, to me, this is just absolutely crazy. I mean, this is like, man. I mean, could you imagine the CIA
backwards?
It's just, this is just insane. What that tells me is the right hand has no idea what the left hand is doing. What it also tells me is there are plenty of ops inside our federal government at the level of the CIA, the FBI, all of them who are working actively to destroy this country. Right? You have two waging. Their World War III is being fought every day inside of our agencies. You just don't see it. Right? And guys, I'm not here to tell you which side's right, which side's wrong, because the truth is, I ain't got any idea. Right? And finding truth, good luck. Regenerative Orchard said, but will there be cinnamon rolls? I don't know what the cooking plan is, but I think Jess may be on here. She may have something to do with it, or maybe I don't really know what the story is. There will be lots and lots of food. We don't know. Yeah. Jules said I should have tomatoes ready. Let's see here. I've got one-on-one meetings with senators in our office. They just laughed off one man and told me to start a riot if I needed change. Insane. Mark said the CIA has no authority to raid them. No, they don't. They also covered up the COVID origins. Of course they did. Newsflash, none of these entities follow the rules and the laws don't apply to them. True. Yeah, Carrie Davis for the win. It tells you who's running our country. Carrie Davis couldn't say it any better than how you said it right there. Today was the last day, Mark, to your point, to arrest Fauci, and the Trump administration fails again, and that monster still roams free. So what they're talking about is the statute of limitations has now run out on some of the crimes, specifically the lying to Congress and all of that. And if the government was going to prosecute Fauci, they had to do it by, I think it was Monday this week. And they've decided to let it go, which means he cannot be charged. Yeah, so much for draining the swamp. Something that's super close to my heart, you guys, and something that the more and more that I pay attention to what's going on, the more and more I think this might be the fight, is all this data center stuff. So I'm going to share some stories across the country because, guys, this is happening everywhere. In Kansas, I can tell you of 10 different counties right now that are going through debates with the public and that about bringing in data centers. At least 10. But it's not just Kansas. It's not isolated to Kansas. It's all over. So here's one in Georgia. Blackstone-owned data center drained 30 million gallons of water from Atlanta suburb. Oh, wow. This data center in Georgia stole 30 million gallons of water with a secret water tap that they never told the local utilities about. Well, I would argue that the utilities knew it, but another story. We need real accountability. They are now seizing people's home in Georgia via eminent domain to build power lines for a $17 billion data center. How many times you hear the data center people say, oh, no, we won't use eminent domain. We won't use eminent domain. Well, except now they are. They're using eminent domain. I had a conversation with one of our commissioners this morning. And he just said, I don't understand, Tag. I do not understand, why people are so upset. Why we come in and we give them answers and they're not happy. And I said, dude, you got to understand. You guys told us, not you, our county commissioners, but the state of Kansas told us that if we approved the lottery, it would fund the schools and our taxes would go down. Our taxes have only gone up. Every promise that you guys make, you just break them. And just like in this particular case, right? They're now seizing people's homes in eminent domain, even though they said that they wouldn't. Georgia Power is forcing families off their farm with eminent domain for a data center. I'm fighting for the survival of my cattle farm. I'm here because a massive data center was approved just a couple miles from my land, and I'm being hounded by Georgia Power for an easement to build transmission lines through my property. This young lady, Ansley Brown, go get them, Tiger. This is a lady that JC, citizen broadcaster after your own heart, got up, spoke, is becoming a spokesperson. Her videos are now getting hundreds of thousands of views as she, this young 19-year-old girl, takes on data centers and has become the spokesperson people for it. People have had enough. One of the latest projects is in Conway, Arkansas. History is being planned. It's a massive 336-acre, 300,000 square foot data center costing over $1 billion. It's shrouded in secrecy. Residents aren't allowed to know who's building it. The developer is Forge Light Ventures, acting on the behalf of unnamed Fortune 100 company. I looked into this and found that residents are not happy about it. Over 100 residents showed up demanding transparency. You guys notice something in that sentence right there? 100 residents showed up. This is why they're attacking the rural areas. Because for us, like in my county, if we get 300 people in a meeting, it's a big deal. That's a lot of people. Try to do it in a big city, that's not a lot of people, right? We're dumb rednecks out here, and we don't already have zoning and those kind of things for projects like this so they can get one over on us. This is why they're attacking these areas. So many residents showed up, they couldn't even fit in the room. The room only held 80 people. The company's identity, full environmental impact study, noise and light pollution details, backup generator, sounds and specs, and long-term effects remain a secret. Americans are just expected to be quiet and take it. You don't get to know what's going on in your own town right next to your homes. How in the world did we get here? Let's get to some comments here real quick. Jules says there's plenty of counties in Oklahoma making secret deals for data centers. Yep, huge problem. Instigator says they won't, but the utilities will. That's them, not us.
Yeah. Eminent domain.
Yep. Florida just passed a law about data centers having to pay for their power upgrades. Yeah, I want to see how that works out, right? Tennessee has at least 60, a third of those data centers clustered around Nashville. Nito said, I just found out today that there are 4 more data centers going in next county over, but only 30 miles from us. We are the desert. Groundwater is at a premium here. Mark says, Trump signed an executive order making data centers center cancer a national security priority. We are nearing 6,000 hyperscale data centers nationwide. We have 5,000 more data centers than any other country. I actually have a slide on this in just a minute. Mark? Citizen broadcaster said data centers aren't for our benefit, but are for the technocrats and their control grid. I could rant on this topic. 50,000 people in Lake Tahoe, Nevada, have been told to find new power source because their utility company is redirecting their power lines to the data centers. Are you ready to revolt yet? Nearly 50,000 people in the Lake Tahoe region are now being told they could lose access to electricity because the power is a national security interest and it's heading to the AI data center. Many Americans are starting to fear this is their future too, as data centers are being forced into communities nationwide. What's happening in Tahoe is no longer just a dispute over utilities. It is becoming a warning sign for the entire nation as homes, tourism, and local economies and basic human needs are pushed aside to make room for the AI build-out. Nevada Energy reportedly plans to stop supplying the region after May of 2027. They have 1 year. Guys, how long have you heard me preach on this channel? Energy efficiency, energy. It's the number one fight. Now, I would argue water's right there with it, right? And food's right there with it. But this right here, guys, is why I've been screaming at the top of my lungs for energy independence for the last 3 years. This is what Americans can accomplish if they come together. Residents packed Cave City Council meeting to oppose a new data center. Their leaders are going to pass a zoning ordinance changing what would have made data centers a permitted use. Because the residents pushed back, the city council rejected the zoning amendment. This is great news, but you have to keep an eye on what they actually did. They then approved a 1-year moratorium on accepting, processing, or approving data center applications or permits. This paused new projects while the city reviews zoning language. This is why you need to read the details. It's a 1-year moratorium. Let's see here. Get back to comments here. Sorry, guys, I'm working on keeping up. Most are being built under a fictitious name. They don't care about regulations when investing $8 trillion. They need banned outright. Sorry to talk to each other. Sarah sold us out, made it so that the red county can't own land here, but then has allowed other countries to build data centers via investment firms. These are AI centers. Yeah, I prefer to call them surveillance centers. And guys, let me give you a little point. I don't care what you call them, AI centers, whatever. But when we're talking about them specifically in public, we need to change our language from data center to surveillance center. That's what I will call them from now on when I'm speaking to the commissioners and all of those things, because the words you use absolutely matters. Let's see here. Skylink is growing and scheduled to become self-aware soon. Mark says we need to rant on this topic or digital prison is our new reality. Jules says data centers are needed for all the 15-minute cities. Mario says it will never happen in Lake Tahoe. It's too boogie of an area with mega million-dollar homes everywhere. Using 1 gig of power ain't great. 4 years ago, we have the same earth cut power, no fossil fuels. Isn't that crazy how we were running out of oil not long ago? Yeah, Tahoe is a 2-hour drive from here, says Nitos. Nevada Energy was our power company. Was is the key word. Was. And that's because they took the plunge. Jane Baden, welcome in, by the way, says, yeah, I've had enough of data centers already. I don't even like the idea of surveillance star or social credit systems. Well, kind of one and the same. A small town in Michigan voted against a massive data center, but the developers are moving ahead with the project anyway. Your vote literally doesn't even matter. They're just going to do whatever they want. It's a huge $16 billion project for OpenAI and Oracle. Last September, Saline Township board members voted 4-1 against allowing the proposal for an AI data center to proceed. The land has been zoned agriculture for decades, even hundreds of years. They didn't want it to become anything industrial. Now 575 acres of farmland are being rezoned for the data center. Full story, residents of Van Buren Township, Michigan, the surrounding areas were outraged during a planning committee meeting just 5/13, so 2 days ago. The proposed hyperscale data center already has preliminary approval and now one step closer to construction right in the middle of a residential area. The planning committee seems to be attempting to delay this project, but they are fearful of lawsuits if they deny it outright. Michigan state law makes it illegal to ban data centers. In a nearby area, Lyon Township, they rejected a data center and were sued by the developers and forced to settle. So these data center companies, these solar farm companies, all of the nuclear companies are coming in and they're getting these rural counties, they're getting them in a bind. And if they don't go forward, they'll get sued. And so they're playing dirty pool. Yeah, G-Dog for the win. Where are the environmentalists now?
Oh.
Right? Any monetary penalties for a data center violating local laws is a couple percentage points on their profit tops. They just consider it the cost of doing business. G-Dog, welcome in, by the way, says it's almost like environmentalists are paid by the same people pushing the surveillance center. Well, just last week, G-Dog, we talked about on the live how the Southern Poverty Law Center was funding white supremacy groups so they had somebody to fight. This has been going on forever, right? Kansas is sitting on white hydrogen deposits. The estimates say the white hydrogen can power the world for over 100 years. They snag up the land rights and then drill for hydrogen. All right. Shark Tank billionaire Kevin O'Leary says 2 people fighting data centers in Utah are Chinese agents. So I don't know if you guys have heard about this. There's a data center they're going to build in Utah, the largest in the world, 62 square miles. 62 square miles. Red Pill Bot says when the government doesn't fear people, there's tyranny. And all of these Utah people could not stop the data approval center. And if you look at that picture, they packed it. They opposed it. And they're building it anyway. 62 square miles, 40,000 acres.
40,000.
Yeah, and they're going to do it anyway. So anyway, Shark Tank billionaire Kevin O'Leary says that the only people that are fighting it are 2 Chinese agents. Well, with a little bit of background, it wasn't too hard to figure out. It was actually 2 young girls in that county that was putting up the fight. Okay, let's get some comments here. Brett Boyd says Utah Kevin O is putting one of the largest centers in, but he claims he's doing his own power with natural gas. That was good timing. Whisper Creek says, didn't Sierra Club come to our meetings and speak in favor of solar farms? I wouldn't say they spoke in favor of it, but they certainly didn't speak opposed to it either. Mark says, Sierra Club chased me out of the solar meeting to talk outside about the white hydrogen. Yes, they are bought and paid for. Brett Boyd says he's not building 62 acres. Not 62 acres. It's 40,000 acres, 62 square miles is what I've seen reported. There's more. Among those opposed to AI data centers in their area, 50% mentioned concerns about the impact on local resources. Another 22% have been flagged quality of life issues. And a new Gallup poll that was run by the Washington Post suggests that 7 in 10 Americans don't want data centers near them. A growing number of U.S. communities are fighting back. AI data center restrictions are spreading across the U.S. Dozens of local jurisdictions have already blocked new projects. Wisconsin town votes 44-0 to ban data centers. In 48 hours from now, to tomorrow, I guess 24 hours from now, Saturday, May 16th at 10 a.m. local time, there's mass AI protests that will be going on these new surveillance centers. Let's see here. It makes you wonder if any protests are authentic. Yeah, I actually think protesting is kind of, and David, I think I've probably shared this with you before. By the way, welcome in. I think that protesting kind of hurts our cause in a lot of ways because it allows the politicians to go home and say, look, democracy worked. And so I'm kind of opposed to it anyway, but we'll see. Let's go here. 69 jurisdictions have now blocked new data centers. So guys, counties are fighting back. There are bans that are going in. Hill County, Texas paused its data centers, even though the governor then came out and said that their 40 data centers that they have now will be 400 over the next 2 years. They canceled plans for the New Jersey data center after massive crowds come out. Bill Gates admits data centers built to kill and replace 200 million people by 2030. Now, I watched the interview. I don't think he quite said that, kind of. But anyway, a data center insider has come forward with horrifying revelations about the AI mega facilities rising across the country. The elites in charge of this are preparing to perpetrate crimes against humanity on a scale the world has never witnessed. However, that I agree with. BlackRock CEO Larry Fink declares preemptive war against American citizens who fight back against the data centers, warning that people could use inexpensive drones. He admits that BlackRock will control nearly all of the AI data centers being built across the United States because the government cannot afford to fund them on its own. We have to relook at all forms of security, says Larry Fink. Could it be domestic terrorism using a $3,000 drone? Many more things will have to be underground. He is already worried about what's to come and told us the secret. BlackRock will find out, hopefully not the hard way. What's your reaction to this? Tucker Carlson then comes out and says that BlackRock CEO Larry Fink openly admits he fears domestic uprisings against data centers. He confirms elites are terrified that ordinary citizens will use cheap drones. Well, he should be. I wouldn't do it. I don't condone it, just for the record. BlackRock calls for citizens' domestic terrorists. This was incredible. Larry Fink has revealed the quiet contempt of the financial elite in a stark terms, meaning, speaking at the Milken Institute, the BlackRock chairman openly declared that his firm and its institutional partners will effectively control the vast majority of America's new data centers. Why? Because the federal government, burdened by debt, can't afford to build the infrastructure powering the technological revolution. Sprawling facilities consuming irreplaceable farmland, billions of gallons of water, and entire grid sections, all while ordinary citizens face soaring electric costs and degraded communities. Then came the chilling pivot on the security. We have to relook at all forms of security. Again, we talked about his fear, about the drones. Think about that. A man whose firm helped pioneer the financialization of every American asset now frames resistance to this resource grab by citizens rightfully armed by blackouts, rate hikes, and the enclosure of their landscapes as potential terrorists. These are not benign server farms. They are a form of the physical backbone, emerging surveillance and control infrastructure subsidized by the public. That's exciting, right? And related, Walmart is now, we talked about this last week, but I wanted to put it in here again because I think it really helps make the point. Walmart has admitted to selling TVs at a loss, right? At unprofitable, because they won't even turn on without a subscription. People think that these data centers are to store Facebook photos. Digital ID is now officially on the UK government agenda. During the King's speech, King Charles confirmed, my ministers will also proceed with the introduction of digital ID. And why does this matter, right? I get asked all the time, why? Why all these data centers? If you guys look, the United States of America, the world has 11,800 data centers, 5,381 of them belong in the United States. I'm not saying they're building these data centers to roll out the social credit scores. I'm just saying I don't think we need all of these data centers to run Chat, GTP, Kronk, and Claude. But if you did want a social credit score, you'd need a lot of data centers, right? Billionaire Kevin O'Leary said that the U.S. has to build these massive data centers to compete with China, and it's a gigantic lie. Do you guys, I don't know how well you guys can even see this. America has 5,381 data centers. China has 449. Okay, so keep that in mind. You can watch the surveillance data in America being put up on real time. This chart shows the amount of flock cameras. So if you guys look at those two pictures in the United States, the first picture there is how many flock cameras existed in the United States in 2024. Excuse me. The picture to the right shows them today.
2026.
Guys, you know why these data centers are here? It's not complicated. We're funding the surveillance state.
To watch you?
We're funding it. We're funding the ultimate control. It will not be long, and every single purchase you make, right? Every single one, everywhere you go will be tracked. All of it will be done. You'll have no more freedom on that front. And then once you have no longer any kind of financial freedom, they'll be able to hold that over your head, and they'll be able to say things like, well, we're not going to make your universal basic income payment unless you get the vaccine. Now they'll be able to hold it all over your head. All right, I got to go back up here because I am missing comments. Let me see here. Mark says Project Matador in Texas will use more power than 15 states combined That's 6,000 acres. 62 square miles is roughly Washington, D.C. size, using 90 gigawatts, allegedly, when the entire state uses 4 gigawatts. Crazy. That's just stage one build out. They will scale up once approved. Of course they will. The proposed Stratos data center in Box Elder County, Utah plans to draw water from local wells and aquifers using pre-existing agricultural water rights purchased from private homeowners.
Wow.
The GPUs are obsolete in 1 to 3 years. Think about all of the e-waste. It started with cameras on our roads for security and safety. Well, of course, they sell it to us as a public service issue. I actually talked to one of our commissioners today about block cameras. When is it the government's job to monitor its citizens? We need to be monitoring them. Isn't it crazy we live in a society where the government monitors the citizens, but we have no transparency in what they spend our money on? It should be the other way. It's completely backwards. Mark Baldwin says, nope, your TV has been watching you for 20 years. A 65-inch TV, bucks is a spy in your home, not a bargain buy. I agree with that. Let's see here. Carrots in the Rabbit Hole. What a great name. If these data centers are so, welcome in, by the way. If these data centers are so environmentally great, why don't they put them in the national forest? Because they already own that land. You'll own nothing and you'll be happy, right? Bigger airports have digital ID scanners up and running. I saw several people using them. Brett Boyd says data centers started small. Now they're massive. G-Dog said, my thesis. Data centers need many processors. Faster processors can detect, track, and try to predict people's behavior. 100%, G-Dog, in my opinion, we are funding the surveillance state. As the larger collective, we are cooked. That's a lot of farms either closing down or selling, less food being produced. Yeah, and then more people to a 15-minute city. Right, Jen? Will be cool. Welcome in. Says, I'm glad that I got mineral and water rights when I bought my property. I agree. All right. Anyway, I think it's pretty simple what's going on. I think some of it's military industrial complex, but the vast majority of the data centers, the vast majority of all of this is about surveillance, and it's about control. You guys, I promise you, the feds are not stupid. They know people are rising up. Right? People are rising up all over in counties in almost every single state. Every day, I watch videos of people standing up to a county commissioner or to a city council and saying, enough of this stuff. You're supposed to represent us. Every day, the Great Awakening is here. They're pitching data centers that mount on the side of your home. I seen that. We actually covered that in the live last week. Yep. Well, just in case there wasn't any need for any less control, we certainly need more. Police in France have started using drones with thermal imaging to locate cows in the countryside whose owners have refused to get them vaccinated.
Oh, wow.
And guys, don't think for a second that this is just happening in France. The USDA, right, just approved the new vaccine for the cows.
They're vaccinated or put it down.
Yeah, here in the United States. And again, once they control our finances, once you have no say in any of that, now it's very easy. Get them vaccinated or you can't buy grain.
Right.
Get them vaccinated or you can't have it. Right? Or else. It's the absolute ultimate form of control. This is why I've been preaching to you guys. Relationships. Relationships are the new currency, because with it, we can get around some of those things. Gratitude to grace. Oh, there it is. Where's that? There it is. It says they are putting them in the Adirondacks using cell, shoulder, and wind companies as a front to get leases on land. Citizens are fighting them. I'm excited. They're fighting them everywhere. My buddy Squatchy says, so I wonder what's going to happen to the Spirit airplane engines. Maybe convert power to data centers? Oh, that's a good theory. Nito says, really sounds like they're modeling surveillance state like China and North Korea. Yeah, do you think it's just a coincidence that just this week Trump went over to China? And it wasn't just Trump. Did you see who he took with him? Oh, we'll save that. I'll get to that in a minute.
I didn't.
Oh, yeah, you'll love this. Brett says, what I was trying to say is that we have many, but they are small. Now they are mega. China's are all mega. Oh, okay. I didn't know that. Oh, sorry. They're talking together. Let's see here. Oh, sorry. They're talking together too. Oh, sorry. They're talking together too. All right.
Nobody wants to talk to you, man.
Nobody wants to talk to me. That's okay. In further news, just so you know, the U.S. Supreme Court is doing its job. It lets the abortion pill mail delivery system continue.
Oh.
So the good news is you can now get abortion pills through the mail. How exciting. U.S. Supreme Court has just upheld broad access for abortion pills through pharmacies or through the mail with no in-person doctor visit while the case plays out in court. This means access is set to remain until likely next year while appeals play out. Better stock up on those abortion pills. Canada's MAID euthanization machine just hit rock bottom. A Quebec physician has formally suggested assisted suicide. For those of you guys know, in Canada, they do this. Insane. But suggested assisted suicide for infants and babies from birth to 1 year with severe deformities and syndromes. He goes on to say that parents should have the opportunity to have their newborn killed. Federal committees are now pushing to expand to mature minors, children, where a doctor, parents can decide if the kid can consent to their own death. Ontario's chief coroner confirms hundreds of MAID deaths are driven by poverty, loneliness, and lack of housing. So let's see. We attack men, right? We attack women. We make economics tough where no one can buy a home, and then want to help people commit suicide because they're depressed. Did I get all that right? Hmm. This isn't healthcare. The moral horror show. Brett says, bar tar free yourself for government. Mark says, extreme temps in the mail change the chemical composition of the pills. Just think about your pills sitting in a 150-degree mailbox during a hot Kansas summer. I don't take any. Anyway, this was actually an interesting thing. Did you guys know that the Senate voted unanimously to withhold their own pay if the government shuts down? The U.S. Senate forced into a massive 99-0 vote to withhold their own fat paychecks during any government shutdown. Long overdue slap in the face to the D.C. swamp. But I have to ask you, does it really matter? I mean, these people go and get into office with no assets. They get a small, I want to say small, not a super wealthy paycheck, and they come out billionaires and
rich.
So their $174,000 a year salary stops coming in. But all of the people loading their pockets does not. A little too late, in my opinion. Let's see here. Brett says China just built a coal-fired plant that is stupid powerful to supply their mega AI. Me either make a bunch of babies and don't take big pharma. Nito said, I believe that when I see it. G-Dog said, all politics. Bet they get back interest, but that wasn't in the articles. That's a mess. This was a crazy story. Divers are performing routine maintenance at a Converse Reservoir Dam in Mobile, Alabama, while supplies drinking water to the entire city. Discovered an underwater grenade-type IED submerged at the base. A multi-agency team led by the FBI, ALEA, Mobile County Sheriff, Mobile PD, and Gulf Coast Maritime safely retrieved and detonated a device off-site. No damage or contamination to the water supply. Officials call it an unprecedented threat. So let me summarize this because, again, I'm running out of time. So they went down on a dam in Mobile, Alabama, the dam that supplies the water, and they swam down there to do some maintenance and found an IED. Someone had placed an improvised explosive device at the base of this dam. So what I want to know, Mobile will be cool. Somebody placed it there. Do you think this is the only one? Do you live downstream from a dam? Instigator says irrelevant. They'll get it when it's over, and they can write checks on their own bank account that never bounces. Your pills sitting in shipping containers while they're shipped over, while they're waiting in port, and while they're tucked on, great point, in the pharmacies. Hey, Christine, how are you? So good evening, friends. I'll have to watch you all on the repeat since I'm so late. Well, good to see you either way. Mark says, seems suspect. If I plant that, I wouldn't detonate it, not just left it there. Well, unless they were timing something, waiting for something, waiting for orders. Who knows?
It wasn't time.
Does seem a little suspect, but it is all over. It's not just some weird place. I mean, it was covered by Fox News. It was covered by all of the mainstream media outlets. So but no, not that that means anything, all right? Funny that pharma has gotten a pill for everything, but life expectancy is shorter. Yeah, just like schools, right? Schools are producing worse and worse and worse students, but yet they sure have a bigger bill, don't they? Yeah. Will be cool says just drive through mobile. It's drove. Will be cool. Since you corrected me on mobile, it's drove. I just drove through mobile. Love you, brother. California just spent $189 million to give free iPads to every inmate, even those on death row. The inmates were caught watching porn, sending nudes, and some were even caught grooming children. Now officials are saying they need more money because they can't afford to monitor the 90,000 tablets. You can't make this shit up. You just can't make it up. The Charlotte, North Carolina NAACP president says it's seriously disturbing that white people are being considered for mayor. Because apparently only black people should. The director of the World Health Organization admits that hantavirus outbreak is now being used to push a massive vaccination agenda. He says that its safe and effective vaccine is the only way to protect yourself. And right on the heels of that, the World Health Organization comes out and says there's been another Andres hantavirus outbreak at a birthday party. Mm-hmm. Yep. Now, I don't know if this is funny or not. Try not to laugh. But Muslims are furious for mistakenly eating pork. Dearborn, Michigan public schools served pepperoni pizza to students at O.L. Smith Middle School during Ramadan. So basically, they fed everybody pork. They say it was a mistake. What do you think?
I don't probably.
No.
Probably all look the same.
No. G-Dog said that's $2,100 an iPad. Yeah, huh? $500. You can't make this stuff up. Hey, Skanesbro. Yeah, what happened to rock breaking in prison? No, now we have iPads that give them access to the internet. What are we doing? Like, what are we doing? And you wonder why we have to keep our kids off roadblocks, right? Why we have to keep them off the internet. Because we're funding people to go come after them. Insane. Food truck owner was fined $5,000 by the state for giving free food to firefighters to battle a wildfire. She parked near the staging area during an emergency, served tacos, burritos, and other hot meals at no charge to exhausted first responders working along shifts in the extreme heat. They were protecting the town from burning down. But the state cited her for operating outside her permitted zone and lacking an emergency vendor license, claiming health and safety rules still must be applied. This guy is calling the hospital on behalf of a new mom who was charged $1.8 million because her baby was premature and needed to stay alive long enough to come home. The itemized charges are dystopian: $37,000 for heel sticks on a premature infant, $58 every time the mother held her own baby. $312 was charged for teaching on how to sponge bathe a preemie, and $27,000 for phototherapy lights. That's before even getting into the NICU bed charges. Our medical system is one of the most corrupt, evil rackets in the world. Millennials are the first generation in American history expected to be worse off financially than their parents. This is not, I want to stress, I agree with this, is not because they're lazy, but because they graduated into the 2008 financial crisis. They paid for it with a decade of stagnant wages and then got hit with a housing market they could never catch up. Now, I'm not suggesting none of them are lazy, because I know plenty of lazy ones, but I know a whole bunch of really good ones who work really, really hard and are trying to figure out a way to own that $450,000 house that's starting now.
$450,000.
Yeah. In the year 2000, the average house price was $119,000. In 2026, it's $405,000. A cup of coffee costs $3.45. Today, $9. Energy, the average home spent $865 a year. Today, it's $2,000 a year. The average salary in 2000 was $42,000. Today, it's $81,000. Costs went up 237%. Salaries went up 93%. This is not crazy. The gap is getting wider. All right. What's Jen saying? All this is why the aliens won't come here. They looked and saw we're too busy destroying ourselves. They'll wait. Yeah, except I think, yeah, I'll leave that for another. I'll leave that for another one. Anyway, Mark said they are pushing domestic terrorism narrative to crack down on people, why China has agents serving as our mayors. I'm going to get to that one too. everyone should avoid eating factory farmed animals anyway. I agree 100%. These are the times where bad is good and good is bad. 1984, right, Squatchy? Right? Freedom is slavery. Slavery is freedom. Rich get richer. And who do you think make the rules? Not the poor. Woe to those who call evil good and good evil. Yep, again, 1984. Breaking news, President Trump surprises the United States from China, announcing that the country will rededicate itself to God May 17th, 2026. President Trump then went on to say to the LGBT community, it doesn't matter how many surgeries you have or how many chemicals you inject into yourself. If you were born with male DNA in every cell of your body, you will never be able to become a woman. You are not a woman. Exclusive full interview. We've had an election emergency. This is already starting. The election isn't until November. But apparently we're in an election emergency in the United States and is asking the president to declare an election emergency, which will obviously give the federal government more power. Thousands of popular products just recently recalled over rodent contamination. Cheerios, Sprinkles, Skittles, Purina, Dog Chow, Purina Cat Chow, over-the-counter Advil, Benadryl, Claritin, mostly distributed in Indiana, Minnesota, and North Dakota. No illnesses reported yet. What are some other ones? Diet Coke, Nutella, Fruit Loops, Pringles, Cheerios, Folgers, Sour Patch, Fiji Water, Jolly Ranchers, and more. Let's see here. Senator Jim Justice says there is no time to wait and the government must act now against the monopolies taking over our agricultural system. Some fight back, right? Taking four different, and then back to Wall Street Apes was talking about how they went to Walmart and they took four different 5-pound bags of potatoes off the shelf. One weighed 4.5 pounds, one weighed 4.8, one weighed 4.9, and one weighed 4.2, but all of them was underweight. Good news, right? Woman who's been raising horses for 30 years. I'll make this one quick. I'm going to blow through this because we covered this last week a little bit. There is still more and more and more stuff coming out about the ticks and how there's a video of helicopters dropping a box. I don't know if it's true, but I'm just curious from you guys. What do you guys think about all this tick stuff? Hey, Grateful Hearts Ranch, welcome in. Wisp Creek said, did you see about the trans women, men in the women's prison suing because they were not allowed to practice their religious ceremonies in the nude in public? I did not. I wish I did. Jen says, Hakuna Mata virus for the pets too, not just the cruise ship. Insane. No. Okay, so real quick, I'm going to make this fast. So Trump, you guys heard Trump went to China. But what I found so fascinating about it, again, I'm not going to read all this because we're going to be out of time, but what I found fascinating about it is normally he would go over there, maybe take the vice president with him, maybe the secretary of defense or secretary of war, something like that. But can you guess who all went? So he brought the CEO of Apple, BlackRock, Blackstone, Boeing, Cargill, CTI. I'm trying to read all these.
Does it say you can see that?
Some of them. Visa, MasterCard, Tesla. So Musk was there. Goldman Sachs. These are who he took with him. So just out of curiosity, why do you guys think a president who's going over to settle peace with China brings all the top business leaders of the world? Well, obviously they're there to talk business. Would you agree?
Yeah.
That's easy to come to, right? So they're over there making deals, right? And I think that we are constantly out of the loop. And I will go back to what I said in many, 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 many lives. I think there's a chance that it's Trump, Xi Jinping, and Putin who are behind the scenes working against the deep state, and the deep state actively working against them. It makes sense. The deep state's what's pushing Ukraine, right? The deep state makes some sense to me, but they're clearly there. Yeah, Squatchy for the win. Yeah, to make some deals. Couldn't agree more. Couple interesting things that came out of that. Xi Jinping said that Trump is making America better, but he also said in front of everybody, he referred to the United Nations as a declining nation, which I find interesting. Speaking of China, so China talks all this good stuff. Trump's a good guy, he's making America great again. Just this week, secret Chinese police station in New York leads to conviction. A man accused of running a secret Chinese spy output from a nondescript office building in New York City's Chinatown neighborhood was convicted Wednesday of acting as an illegal foreign agent. Jesse Waters. So this is Fox News reporting. A Democrat mayor just stepped down after admitting she's a Chinese spy. Holy crap. Arcadia, California Mayor Aline Wang, Democrat, has just pled guilty to acting as an illegal Chinese agent. A mayor. And what's so funny about that is that there's a lady who found out that Mike Schultz, the Republican, bought 640 acres of land right next to a data center that was being proposed 2 months before it was announced. And now they're saying she's a Chinese agent. You just can't make this stuff up. You just cannot make this stuff up. New World Orders is unfolding. It's official. 80 House Republicans voted to defund NATO. This is an incredible story. So 80 House Republicans voted to defund NATO by $500 million. The United States of America is gradually eliminating the unnecessary allies and associated costs. And this story is supported by Marco Rubio, who said one of the main reasons he supported NATO in the past was because it gave the United States strategic basing rights across Europe and operations in the Middle East and Africa. So they supported NATO because it gave them right to military bases. What does that tell you? Right? It's about going to war, right? So this all makes sense. So now America's apparently going to step back and, stop funding NATO and have all these great conversations. And then just today, 5 hours ago, U.S. Ambassador Mike Waltz announces that $1.8 billion of U.S. taxpayer money will be sent to the United Nations to fund emergency humanitarian assistance. This comes on top of the $2 billion already pledged in December. So they say that they're going to take out $500 million, right? This is their word, right? 80 House Republicans voted to defund NATO by $500 million. And just a couple days later, gave $1.8 billion on top of the $2 billion they already pledged to the same NATO. Is anybody else confused?
They meant next time.
Oh, they must have meant next time. Can't make this stuff up. And finally, we'll close with this. I found this was an interesting article by Antonio Roman, The 7 Stages Pattern of Empires. So the first one, for an empire to collapse, this guy is saying this is what all of them go through. The first one is military overextension, right? We have, of the 196 countries, we have military bases in we have them in 77 countries and 170 military bases in 77 countries, if I remember right. So that's a check. Currency debasement. Government weakens the value of money to finance spending historically by reducing precious metals and coins. Today, often through inflationary monetary policy or excessive monetary creation. We've printed more money since Trump took office than has been printed in all the rest of the time in the world. So that's a check. Social debt spiral. The debt grows faster than productive economy output. We're $39 trillion in debt, and I wouldn't be a bit surprised if we've actually already crossed 40 and I just don't know it. We're basically $40 trillion in debt. So number 4 would be a check. Number 5, social decay. Internal cohesion weakens. Political polarization, declining trust in institution, corruption, widening inequality, demographic strain, and cultural fragmentation. Does anybody think we're all united as a people today?
No.
Everybody is divided. We're divided on party lines. We're divided on gender lines. We're divided on racial lines. We're divided on every single line. And so I would say 5 is a check. Number 6, loss of revenue and currency status. The empire's currency lost its dominant international role, reducing its ability to finance deficits cheaply and to project power globally. And there's threats every day that we're going to lose the reserve currency basis. China and Russia have both already agreed to begin doing commerce in other currencies. The BRICS nations are doing the exact same thing, and America's absolutely losing the control. So 6 is a definite check. And finally, 7, collapse or fragmentation. The system experiences major restructuring, political breakup, revolution, economic crisis, sharp loss of influence, and transition into a lesser power. And I think we're beginning to see that now. All right, where are we at? Guys, I missed all kinds of comments. I don't even know where I'm at. We're just going to start right here with G-Dog. Political theory. When a rapid rising power threatens to displace and establish ruling power, the resulting structure stress makes war between them the most likely outcome. Well, and I've told you guys several times that I've got some friends, prominent friends, who have told me many, many times that the United States is planning for war with China by 2030. I can't tell you if it's true or false. I can just tell you that's what I was told. Let's see here. Citizen Broadcaster says purposeful control destruction of the U.S. economy started with the installation of the Federal Reserve. Could not agree more. Mark says he's going to totally retain my individuality. And you are an individual, and you should retain it. We are watching the global plundering of everything. We are. And when does the lotto for basket of currencies come up for reserve choice? Yeah, I think it'll come up just in a bang. Just at one moment, it will come up, and probably happen behind the scenes, and they'll probably create a crisis to make us all accept it. That's why I was going to say about aliens earlier. I mean, what would it take for the Americans to run to the government for digital currency and social credit scores? And I mean, it would take some big major thing to get them to run to it, and aliens might be enough. I don't know. I just don't know. Let's get out of here tonight. It's 2 hours and 12 seconds. Perfect timing. You got any parting words you'd like to talk about? Do you want me to start or what?
Go ahead.
I wanted to start with saying this, that a good relationship is saying that life is hard, but I want to do it with you. And I bring this up to say, get your house in order. Get your own individual house in order. And then when you do that, come get in the fight, because the Great Awakening is here. There are thousands of people standing up to this tyranny all over the country. Guys, all you have to do is watch the news. Every single state, it is coming in droves. People are doing it peacefully, thankfully, right? But thousands and thousands of people are standing up. And so I would ask you this. Do you want to be the one that sat on the couch? Do you want to be the one that when your children ask, well, what did you do, Grandpa? What did you do, Grandma, when the Great Awakening came? I can tell you this. I can promise you this. And my kids who watch these lives, sometimes I will promise you this. I will not die on my knees. I promise you that. And I really encourage you guys, don't die on your knees. You got anything else you want to say? I know that was harsh, huh?
No, I think that, you talk a lot about it, and I let you. But
Mario said I can be right or I can be happy. So,
but you are right. I mean, we turn a blind eye a lot and allow others to do it. So, if you are allowing others to do it, then you don't have anything to complain about.
Yep. So we're going to leave you with Roman's girl, who says, have a productive week, freedom friends. Make yourself a little more free this week. I promise I'm going to swing at that. Don't know if I'll be successful, but I'm absolutely going to swing.
Yeah.
Tag out. Good night, everybody. We'll see you guys in a week.